Hamza. While considered controversial at times, Hamza is a fitness enthusiast, mental health advocate, masculist, and former rapper.
Who gonna have my back? I'm out here by myself. Yeah.
Who has absolutely dominated the self-improvement community, helping millions of men through the struggles of the modern world by finding purpose and fulfillment in their lives, often through authentic and quite unconventional, unfiltered advice.
You gotta stop letting men future wife, bro. Good morning. And
I challenged myself to follow every aspect of Hamza's daily routine for 21 days, and here's what happened.
Good morning. It is 5:49 a.m. Hamza first of all wakes up early between 5 to 6 a.m. but also wakes up
sleep cycle as my alarm. I'll never go back to using the normal alarm that's on phones. You know, the one that you set, okay, wake me up at 6 a.m. and then you're dreaming and you literally hear that like cancerous trauma.
Cycle app, which has an alarm go off within an interval that you set based on what it thinks is the best time to do so using machine learning on your sleep metrics. And today was just 5:49. Obviously, nothing beats having an actual physical sunlight alarm clock to wake you up, but also highly recommend this app, especially over the default iPhone alarm, which gives you PTSD.
Right after waking up, it's time to pop in some supplements.
I take vitamin D every single morning, and I also take the First Man Male Advantage supplement.
The Male Advantage supplement combines boron, tonga ali, and ashwagandha, which have been shown to increase testosterone, vitamin K, which helps your body process more vitamin D, zinc, and a few other vitamins to help with all bodily functions, and L-citrulline, which boosts blood flow, also giving you harder erections.
Yikes.
After opening up the place and making my bed, it's time to step on the scale.
Check my weight every single morning. I have like consistent data to see my weight trend. I also take a shirtless progress picture every single morning after checking my weight.
When you freshen up for the day, always remember to brush your tongue as well, because that's where bad breath originates, especially the back of your tongue. So for great breath, you need to be brushing as far back as you can to where you're almost gagging on the brush. And after that, it's time for an Irish shower. This is where when you first get in, the water is either hot or warm, and then gradually over the course of the shower, you make the water colder till it's freezing right before you get out.
People have cold showers wrong. They have them in quite a disciplined kind of like, oh, you know, here I am about to step into the cold shower, guys. Ooh, you know, they do it in quite a dramatic way, and I don't think that's good for you. I think if you have to like hype yourself up, you know, it's a discipline thing. I think you're already like sapping some of like your mental sort of willpower and discipline in the morning. I don't think that's a good thing.
Although a gradual hot to cold shower feels quite nice and has way more health benefits for you than just a completely hot one. Like, make the switch today, don't be weird. I found something quite thrilling about stepping into a completely cold shower every single morning. Gives you a shock and a sense of accomplishment to kick off the day.
After getting dressed, I make a quick protein shake and head out the door. By drinking this, I'm doing what Hamza calls protein intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is only eating 1 or 2 meals per day or restricting all of your calories to a timed window. And it has tons of health benefits. Your insulin drops, your cells repair themselves more often, prevents cancer. Plus, it increases fat loss and helps you focus better. I'm able to feel and have 10x better mental clarity when I'm fasting compared to when I'm not. However, the downside is to maximize muscle growth, you must be consuming 20 to 30 grams of protein every 2 to 3 hours. Keep muscle protein synthesis high, which is our body's ability to build muscle. Think of it like a wave. So when you eat protein, it's high, and then it starts to drop right after until you eat protein again. But with protein intermittent fasting, and I've never heard of anyone do this before, every 3 hours when we're fasted, we drink whey protein. Specifically, whey protein though has 0 carbs inside of it. Check the label, and we mix it with water, not milk. That way, throughout the day, we're maximizing muscle growth by keeping muscle protein synthesis high by having protein every 3 hours. And since whey digests very easily in the body, and we're not consuming any carbs, we get 99% of the benefits of intermittent fasting. And I think this is actually quite genius. Once I get to a park near my place, I spend a few minutes looking up at the sky and the area surrounding the sun. The single best thing you can do for your sleep, energy, mood, and wakefulness is to get natural light in your eyes first thing in the morning, since it spikes your cortisol and gets all your bodily functions going. Hamza also got this tip from Andrew Huberman.
Especially on cloudy days, you want to get outside and get as much light energy or photons in your eyes.
I then spent some time writing 5 to 10 things I'm grateful for in the Notion app on my phone. Today I wrote, I'm incredibly grateful for a job that allows me to travel the entire world. Currently, I'm in Medellin, Colombia. I'm very grateful for ibuprofen. My knees were slightly inflamed last week after having a heavy leg day, hiking, and learning how to dance bachata. And I'm tremendously grateful for my mom, who always forgives me despite the many mistakes I've made in my childhood and even adulthood. And then, of course, every single morning we need
meditate.
So I spend 10 minutes on Hamza's favorite app, Medito.
Mental health really changes everything in your life.
What is life if not for what we process in here? Good mental health will make you feel like a child again, like everything is just enjoyable. Not having negative thoughts and being able to enjoy the random things in life is actually a privilege that not many guys are experiencing.
After the meditation session, I came home to spend the next 20 minutes doing some stretching, as well as ab work, which I will admit are one of my most underdeveloped muscles.
This is what symbolizes the Greek gods. The importance of abs in terms of attractiveness is huge. Every single person you meet will know what developed abs look like. Every single person watching this video has probably tried getting a six-pack when they were younger as well.
I grabbed some coffee, black coffee from across the street, and I got my one piece of dark chocolate as a reward for doing the whole morning routine. And if you take a little nibble of the dark chocolate and hold it in your mouth while you drink the coffee, it'll dissolve inside your mouth. It'll be like a decent sweetener, but the stuff still tastes like absolute garbage. I don't know who's out here drinking black coffee. And now to wrap up Hamza's morning routine, we're gonna be doing some goals visualizations. Open up your goals if you have them written down. If you don't have your goals written down, then like, what are you doing? Don't be weird, write your goals down. I'm gonna spend the next few minutes visualizing ourselves achieving them. One of my goals for this year is to get as big as I was before the lockdown. So stop lifting weights during the lockdown because gyms were closed and I lost all my muscle mass. So for this year, I wanna get as big as I was before. So if your goals as well, open them up and imagine yourself achieving them, how the process is gonna play out, what things you have to go through to get there. So actually close your eyes and spend the next few minutes visualizing yourself getting to that point.
All right, and that is morning routine complete. I gotta say, I feel alert and strong, ready to hit the day hard. So I'm gonna head over to a nearby co-working coffee shop. It's actually a few blocks past that orange building right there to start the second section of our day and kick it off with deep work.
You can enter a deep workflow by having the exact same setup ritual every single day, as well as making sure that your environment is working for you. First and most importantly is going to be your phone environment. You must disable your notifications. Your phone must not make any noise whatsoever. We want to make it that if you do need to grab your phone in the middle of your deep workflow, we want to make it that there is no notification on screen that pulls you out of this flow state. Put your phone out of sight. Make sure you can't see it with your visual field right now. Also, a part of the environment is the data collect. Start to track down the data that we can start to manipulate, the variables that you could change to see how it affects your deep workflow. And finally, part of the environment is to have a timer because it induces Parkinson's law. You give yourself a very specific deadline and you just automatically start being more productive.
All right, 42-minute deep work session is complete. It's a bit of an odd number. It's an even number, 42, but it's a weird number. And that's because I'm slowly trying to build up my time per session in deep work. I have a tendency, I think we all have this, but whenever something difficult happens or we don't immediately know the answer to some sort of problem, we just instinctively grab our phones and then spend 30 seconds doing something random on them to get a small dopamine release and also distance ourselves from the problem. The average person now picks up their phone 100 to 200 times per day. We spend most of our day in just an unfocused, like lazy state. I do you think you're special? I'm on self-improvement, only pick up my phone twice a day. Complete lie. So the phone settings do help quite a bit for this because nowadays we use our phones for work just as much as everything else. The old school convention of, oh, I just leave my phone at home and go to the library to study so I won't be distracted. That ain't reality.
After every deep work session, Hamza has some kind of recovery for his mind, whether that's eating, reading, napping, getting tiny stuff done, etc. So I'm taking the next 20 minutes to do my taxes, since it's very low effort of just copying numbers from various spreadsheets, as well as answering a few emails and doing some miscellaneous stuff like buying more sunscreen. And following that, I'm taking out some time to read, since Hamza usually has 2 reading sessions per day, one in the morning and one in the evening.
And for the final section of deep work recovery, it's time for our first meal. I'm making a big effort over the past few months to switch my diet from not eating junk food to only eating healthy, nutritious food. And I'm seeing tons of crazy benefits: my sleep, my face, my mindfulness, as well as how I perform in the gym. The perfect diet consists of 4 key factors, and the first one is
maximizing muscle growth comes from a diet in the macronutrients that are high in protein, high in complex carbs, and moderate fats. So we need protein around the clock to maximize muscle protein synthesis. And next, we want complex carbs. This will increase glycogen, and that pretty much makes you stronger and just perform better in the gym. And moderate fats, which will just make sure that all of our hormones like testosterone are regulated. And then the second part comes from minimizing fat gain, and this comes from fasting. There is no better way to structure your diet than fasting. I have 2 more. We've got to make sure this perfect diet optimizes our health and it also feels sustainable. To optimize our health is actually about your gut microbiome. It's like the second brain of our body. The foods that optimize and keep our gut healthy, we can didn't say are healthy foods. The fourth part of the perfect diet, which is sustainability. Look at this list and just kind of see which one you feel like having today. And that's actually the more healthy way to do things.
For my first meal, I ordered chowder bread steak and then a serving of corn, small salad, and this little green taco. And then after, there's a dope smoothie shop behind this like orange building where they make actual healthy and nutritious smoothies. It's straight blackberries, blueberries, ice, water, that's it. None of that sugar or high fructose corn syrup garbage. Take the time to get your diet right because it will make a drastic change to how you feel day to day.
Start approaching in person.
Hey, you don't look very Colombian.
Practice approaching and initiate conversation with strangers refers to walking up to someone you don't know and starting a conversation with them. That is the most natural, the most respectable way to meet someone. And it's the way that makes you stick out because it is terrifying, it is scary, it's challenging, and people respect that. People admire that confidence.
Would you want to hang out sometime?
Sure. What's your Instagram?
Alright, let me give it to you. Alright, finished my smoothie and did another deep work session. Nothing crazy to show you there unless you enjoy just watching me type on a computer with cool background music playing. And to recover, I was spending the next 45 minutes to 1 hour-ish doing some light learning. I'm taking the Science of Wellbeing course on Coursera. Taught by a Yale University professor. It's all backed by research, none of that like hippie crap. How to increase your own happiness and build productive habits to give you a better life. It's been pretty phenomenal so far, so let's get into
The one
it.
on the right, yep. Well, of course, it's an illusion, so I'm messing with you guys, right? In fact, they are exactly the same size, as you can see when I get rid of the circles. But because of the presence of these other circles on the outside, these other reference point blue circles, we actually don't see the circles at the same size. We can't. Even though they're absolutely the same size, we can only see them relative.
Right now, I am about 1/3 into the course. I'm gonna follow Hamza's advice to really take the information day by day, not just grind through it so it'll come in one ear and out the other. I would highly recommend this course to anyone. I know you're sitting there on your crusty computer chair all depressed, so give this a shot. I'll have linked below in the description. Anyway, it is nearly time to hit the gym, so I'm gonna grab a quick workout meal and a small one on the way back to my place, change over there, and I'll see you at the gym.
It's said that we make our first impressions of each other in just 7 seconds. In just 7 seconds, do they know your story? Do they know your good intentions? No. In just 7 seconds, they have seen what you look like and what your body language is like. Physical attractiveness is becoming ever more important. I think it's like your lens in the world, the way you see the world. If you're attractive, you see the world very, very differently than if you're unattractive.
I think gains are made from intensity, not volume, and volume is only valuable if intensity was there at the baseline. So the idea which I'm implementing now is that I'm only doing one set and I'm only allowed to do one set. Imagine if you literally said to yourself, okay, I can literally just do one set. Imagine how hard you would push if you literally said to yourself, okay, I've only got one set for this one exercise. I'm gonna deploy my muscle. I'm not gonna let go, bro. If this is the only set I've got to make it count. I'm telling you right now, you have never experienced intensity like that. I bet you aren't training your neck and you've probably never even heard of neck training before. This makes an insane difference in your physique. Thicker, muscular neck makes you look a lot more masculine and less like a little boy. The neck is a body part that is pretty much always visible no matter what type of clothing you wear, so it's important to develop this. Getting a developed body and your neck is still the same size makes you look really strange. It's crazy.
Resistance training will improve your health, but slightly. It's cardio, aerobic exercise that will make a big difference to your health. It's like training your heart, and in the most simple way, move more, walk more, run more, skip more, go swimming, hike, play sports. It doesn't matter, just do some kind of aerobic exercise a few days a week. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. You put in the work, the literal blood, sweat and tears, and you are rewarded with a sense of pride that very few men feel. You will smile every single time you see yourself, every time you're reminded of how much progress you've made.
All right, back from the gym. I just popped out of the shower. Nothing crazy to show you there. For free, you can find the full video of that on my OnlyFans. And I was just chilling for a little bit. Hamza has a post-workout meal, a Rappi over a shawarma. Rappi is the Colombian version of DoorDash, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, whatever you wanna call it. When I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna also just respond to some emails on my phone. That'll be my little post-workout recovery. And then after I eat, I'll usually spend about 10 minutes calling up my mom and seeing how things are going with her. Hamza actually blocks out a chunk of his day for drinking chai with his mom, but I can only FaceTime her. So we'll talk for a bit, usually about how I'm a failure of a child because I've not gotten married.
February 4th, Mamu and Raza are going
And after I finish talking to my mom, I'll also call up my sister in California, and then we'll talk for a bit as well.
All right, yo, love you. Stay straight out there. Bye. Now, as we head into the last section of the day, we're gonna kick things off with, you guessed it, a session of MCPVP. Now I'm just playing. Deep work. So let me set a timer, hide this phone, and let's get it.
In the beginning, it was very hard for me to get into a deep workflow state, and it's something that I am still trying to master. But I'm going to the outline of Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, which helped a ton for dialing in my focus and reducing things that could consciously or subconsciously be distracting me.
We'd like you to end working at pretty much the same time every single day, and then to go through the same ritual to fully end the work day. So the ritual for me is to review some of the tasks I've got, send the last few messages, and then also to just say an affirmation, acknowledges that I'm done with the work day. I'm not going to look at messages. I'm not going to look at emails. Now just a human. I'm not a coach. I'm not a YouTuber.
All right, deep work session and end of work ritual is complete. So I'm done working now for the entire day. It's crazy to me that I worked for less than 3 hours, plus 40 minutes with some miscellaneous stuff and emails. But I got more done than I normally do just sitting in a coffee shop throughout the day for 6-7 hours. That's wild. And none of that brain fog, tiredness, headache, aches that I usually get when I'm just working for long periods of time. And it's crazy to think that nowadays people are so distracted. They can't get off their phones for more than 5 minutes. That an entire decade, 10 years of their life can go by without them achieving anything in their life, much less in their work. This next generation of kids, the ones who are in elementary school right now, given iPads when they were 5 to just calm them down, get them to stop crying, they will not be able to focus. Because I felt that same way when I was younger, where a teacher would explain a subject and I literally could not pay attention. And I'm seeing now that with deep work, if you can stay focused on something, you're powerful. So these kids, maybe this is you as well, you don't find a way to fix this problem, be able to focus on things, you are limiting your self-growth by a lot. But whatever, if not, then some kids in China will take over and they'll become rich and outcompete us and take over the world. Anyway, I'm gonna throw on some booze. I'm gonna go ahead and grab supper. Yeah, supper. A little too early for dinner. With a friend of mine, and chill for a little bit over there.
The previous chapters have so far focused on getting you to improve your life, becoming the best version of yourself. Now it's time to start meeting new people so that these people meet the best version of you. You will make the best friendships and relationships when you've already improved your mental and physical health, when you aren't addicted to stuff. So you meet people who now align with your current goals and values.
All right, back home, and one of the best parts about living in Medellin when you make US dollars is you can just ball out for dinner. The best restaurants, appetizers, entrees, etc. And the meal is a maximum of 38 bucks. And this might sound a bit far-fetched to you, living in a foreign country and doing this traveling, it's a big risk. But as Hamza points out, you need to take risks in your life, because that's when you grow the most and your mindset widens. I didn't know anyone coming here. This was a solo trip, but I met so many awesome people, did so many crazy things, and that's all because I took the risk of coming here. Obviously not stuff like cocaine, although I've been offered a couple times and I heard it's pretty good down here. But in your own life as well, find ways to incorporate risk that will help you. If you don't, you are decimating your future as a man. Now, as we're winding down the night, one of the things that Hamza does is brainstorm ways to improve his health.
I sit there and I think, what kind of symptoms have I been experiencing? Spend some time and effort thinking about what health things you could improve on, because we've all got some kind of symptoms of ill health that we've just been putting off. Do you have an upset stomach? Is your shoulder joint just really painful? Do your knees keep clicking? Do you have a blocked nose 24/7? Think about it, research it, try and fix it yourself. We live in such a distracted world that we just live with these type of symptoms instead of actually doing something about it.
And finally, I'm taking out 20 minutes to get some more reading done. So I've completed 2 reading sessions today. 20 minutes is not a ton of time, but towards the end of the night, since I'm so tired, I'm able to digest information as quickly or deeply. So I prefer to read less and slower then.
Now, to get better sleep, Hamza does this odd thing where he lays flat on his back like a starfish, but on the floor, not the bed, and practices deep breathing for 5 to 10 minutes. Claims that based on his sleep metrics, he's able to fall asleep faster and be in a deeper state of rest when he's doing this. So let's give it a shot.
He never mentioned what breathing technique he uses, but I personally like the 4-7-8 method, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and then breathe out for 8 seconds on repeat. When you first start, it may feel like you're suffocating a little bit, but you'll get used to it pretty fast.
Oh yeah, that'll put you to sleep.
And make sure you floss your teeth before bed, because if you don't, then you're honestly just pretty stupid. You are guaranteed to get gum disease or lose teeth in the future, probably both. So do some work for your future self, go on Amazon and just buy dental floss right now. For skincare, Hamza never mentioned what he uses, but based on the research, you only need 3 products: retinol, sunscreen, and moisturizer. You can find the exact products I use linked in my kit below. Don't fall for that TikTok influencer 14-step crap. For your skin, less is more. And now the last ritual before bed is to tape your mouth shut, because this will force you to breathe through your nose, which has tons of health benefits for you. It's all backed by science. Andrew Huberman and Ali Abdaal both talked about it. And I've been doing it myself for the past 6 months and feel phenomenal. I'm no longer waking up in the middle of the night with some super dry mouth trying to find water around me. I'm able to breathe through my nose throughout the entire day, even during most of my exercise sessions. I don't have my mouth hanging open like some idiot like you. And lastly, over time, this will force your jaw to go outwards if you are a mouth breather, giving you that skull warrior shape, which is super sick. I would recommend this specific Micropore Tape because it sticks to your skin quite nicely, but at the same time won't damage it when you peel it off. I'll have it linked below. This is a game changer for both your sleep and your breathing, which you do every single day. So hop on it now to get the most benefits as soon as possible. With all that being said, buenos noches.
I've kept calling all this a journey. That's exactly what it is. You're writing the chapters of this book. Make sure when you look back, you'll feel proud of the effort you're putting in. We all wish we could be teleported back in time and slap some sense into our younger selves and tell them to work harder. Make sure your future self isn't looking back at you today and thinking this. Make sure your future self thanks you for the work you're putting in today.
All right, just finished editing the video you watched, and this took me a long time to put together, 70 plus hours of just editing alone, not to mention the scripting, the filming, the other jazz. So this was the longest video I've made to date. If you enjoyed it and want to support my channel and the work I'm doing, buy my premium Snapchat.